Another day, another foreigner killing people in Ireland. Great stuff, Irish government. Thank you, Micheál Martin and Simon Harris. Today we have a news article from Irish Mirror. It says, homeless man charged after pensioner's body found in her own Tipperary home. A homeless man has been charged with the murder of a 90-year-old Tipperary pensioner, 89-year-old, who was found dead in her home. This is the man here, Hassan Ali Gori, who is... I don't know, I think he's North African, Middle Eastern, because the name Hassan isn't really below the Sahara Desert, guys. Okay, so for those who don't know, the guy is North African or Middle Eastern, not what you would think, okay? A homeless man who was previously denied killing a Tipperary pensioner will appear in court later this morning charged with her murder. Prisoner Hassan Ali Gori, who has recently been hospitalized for a number of days after being assaulted behind bars, is due to appear before a court this morning, charged over the murder of beloved pensioner Josephine Ray. So he was beaten up in prison. And this is what happens to prisoners. You go in, you're a piece of shit, you're a flipping child molester, you're a sexual predator, you're a murderer of innocent people, of kids, of old women. They're gonna beat the hell out of you guys. They're gonna beat the hell out of you. So be afraid. Don't do any dumb shit like that if you're a foreigner. Or if you're a flipping Irish person, actually, matter of fact. Mrs. Ray was found dead in her bed at her home in Nenagh in April 2024. Hassan Ali Gori is in a relationship with Mrs. Ray's daughter, Mary. Jesus. The couple had been living with the pensioner in her home before her death. Probably the daughter or him or he probably said, let's kill her and get the house. We can get a pension off her. We can take the house. We can take her car. We can actually live quite well if she's out of the equation. He killed her, straight up. They have no, low IQ. These are low IQ idiots, guys. This is low IQ situations here that we have in Ireland now. This paper previously tracked down and spoke to both Gori and Mary Ray, who had been arrested on suspicion of murder before being released without charge. The couple denied any involvement in Josephine's death at the time. Of course. How could they not be involved, except they lived with her? Ridiculous. Gori, who had been living in a tent with Mary since the killing, was subsequently rearrested earlier this year and again released without charge before a file was sent to the DPP. So the Director of Public Prosecutions is the DA in the US, okay? For those who don't know. In the interim, he was jailed this September after being sentenced to 6 months for assaulting 2 members of Garda Síochána. So not only that, guys, he was also put in jail for 6 months for beating up 2 members of Garda Síochána, our hard-working police force, okay? In prison, Gori was accused of biting a number of prison officers and himself subsequently assaulted and taken to ICU in serious condition. So they beat the hell out of him. They beat the hell out of him. After he bit the Gardaí, I don't know, was he hungry? I'm not sure what the hell was wrong with this guy. But the other prisoners, that's what happens, guys. You get a beat down because you're a piece of shit. This morning is due to a court sitting of Nenagh's district court around 10:30, charged with Mrs. Ray's murders. Hopefully he gets flipping arrested and put in jail. Hopefully it's an open and shut case. Gori and Mrs. Ray insisted, we are not the murderers. We know nothing about it. It's a false accusation. It was upsetting to be arrested. We are both innocent. Bollocks. Absolute bollocks, I'll tell you that, lads. Mary told us at the time, I told them, they accused me and they said, I didn't do it. Why would I do that to my own mother? I couldn't do it. I couldn't do a thing like that. I loved her. Sure you did. 89 years old. Disgusting. The blanket was over her mouth and I thought she was sleeping. The next time I checked on her a while after, I said, Jesus, I pulled the blanket back from her mouth and she was not moving. I was nervous. This is all just bullshit, guys. All bullshit from the daughter, from the man. They killed her. And this is what happens, guys. Charges of criminal damage and producing a 1.5 liter glass bottle as a weapon were taken into consideration. So they killed her with a glass bottle, apparently. They hit her over the damn head or something like that. It's just awful, awful stuff, guys. This is the criminality, the crime we're now importing. Not only was it bad enough with the psychopaths in Dublin, the gang members that chop up 17-year-olds, we have flipping our own crime here, teenagers running around, we have flipping crazy crackpot people here. Not only do we have that, now we have flipping we're importing murderers from Sub-Sahara, from North Africa, the Middle East, Pakistan, India. It's just crazy stuff, guys. There needs to be vetting of people before they're let into the country. Plain and simple. Speaking of imported crime, I wanted to give a little follow-up of the Donaghmede murder that happened yesterday, a couple days ago. It says, teenager is killed in frenzied knife attack on his head, eyes and chest as Irish refugee center as Somalian youth faces questioning. So a Somalian guy was caught. I actually called it. I said he could be Somalian. I said it in my video. Go back and check it out, guys. I put the video up, I think 2 days ago. I am too good at this shit, man. Okay, I can predict stuff. Call me Mystic Chris. I predict everything, alright? I know all this shit, guys, because you can just see the setup. There was a mass stabbing, okay, where a teenager, a Somalian youth, is to face questioning by the police after a Ukrainian teenager was killed in a frenzied knife attack where he tried to gouge out his eyes and stabbed him in the chest at an Irish refugee center. Vadim Davchenko, 17, was stabbed to death with a kitchen knife at an emergency accommodation provided by the Irish Child and Family Agency TUSLA. TUSLA is the sort of emergency accommodation for kids, homeless. You have flipping like an orphanage basically in North Dublin on Wednesday morning. He had only been in Ireland for 4 days before his death at the centre in the Grattan Wood apartment complex in Donaghmede. This Ukrainian kid was in Ireland for 4 days and he got killed. That's disgusting. That's disgusting. Why are Ukrainians and Somalians, why are they linking in? What's their relationship together? I don't understand, guys. Like, what exactly, especially as youths, what are they doing? Why is all this knife play coming out? He had been due to be transferred for accommodation for Ukrainians. So this is what happened, guys. They didn't have any space for him in his own Ukrainian accommodation, so they put him in with Somalians. And then the Somalians don't like that. They don't like Ukrainians. They don't like Eastern Europeans because they're completely different culturally. So they killed each other. But if you think about this from a macro perspective, because that's a micro perspective, they don't get along together. Think about it from a macro perspective then. How would you expect in a society, in a culture, in a country like Ireland, a small country, to get along with all these different people then? If they don't even get along inside an accommodation like this together, why would they suggest that we would get along in a society together? These are questions we have to ask ourselves and ask the government. It's ridiculous. A female staff member who tried to intervene and stop the fight was also hospitalized with defensive wounds. So a female staff member got stabbed as well. Okay, they make it sound like it's all hunky-dory, but it's flipping not. It's crazy. A Somalian teen currently under medical supervision in Dublin Hospital is a person of interest in this case. His injuries are non-life-threatening, according to Gardaí. The Somalian was one of 4 teens in the accommodation, along with Vadim. Crazy stuff altogether. The accommodation is for teenagers who are arriving in Ireland unaccompanied by adults. Vadim is understood to have left war-torn Ukraine for Ireland to get a better life and education. Gardaí said it will be a number of days before the investigation Gardaí can talk to the suspect and piece together why this happened, because he's going to be under medical supervision. He's flipping crazy. Why do you think it happened? They're flipping crazy. They'll try and plead, he was out of his mind, he was upset. They always try and downplay these psychopaths from abroad. They always try to downplay the flipping murder. He didn't know it was wrong to stab this other guy. He comes from a different culture. They always try and downplay everything. It's like, dude, when you come to Ireland, you're living here in Ireland. Abide by our customs, not your shit customs coming from abroad. Okay, this is a first world country. I hate this shit, guys. This is disgusting, man. Vadim was severely injured during a fatal attack at around 11 a.m. on Wednesday. 11 a.m. It's great. Even before lunch, this is just crazy. The embassy is in close contact with Garda Síochána. They're asking what happened. The Ukrainian Facebook user claims to have a daughter in the same case as Vadim posted the post of a young man alleging €8,000 is needed to bring him back to Ukraine. An online fundraiser with the same goals to have appeared 1,300. Crazy stuff. It's just absolutely insane. I mean, you come here for a better living, and then you have these other crackpots that are from God knows where, war-torn parts of Somalia. They have Al-Shabaab in Somalia, which are a terrorist organization. They're Al-Qaeda training these insurgents, these terrorists, to commit terror in other countries around the world. They're sleeper cells. They're coming in from Somalia because of our open borders, tyrannical government that we have here that are just letting them in, flooding them in. And then they're staying in accommodation in Somalia, and then they're flipping killing flipping other foreign people. It's just crazy stuff. Who the hell knows? And of course, when they go to jail, they have a cushy lifestyle. They're able to eat great food. They're given Xboxes, PlayStations. Here we have a video from Robert Jenrick, I think he's from the British UK, saying that murderers shouldn't be sat in prison playing PlayStation. Okay, officers shouldn't have to be bringing the Southport murderer Harry Bro. David Lammy must charge these cushy and ridiculous rules today. Yeah, David Lammy must change these cushy and ridiculous rules today. They're living a cush lifestyle. They're living in 5-star accommodation. These prisons are like hotels for these criminals. They came from some shithole flipping God knows where. Now they're living in flipping a hotel, basically. We call it prison here. like, they should be living in hellhole conditions, guys. You know, they shouldn't be living in places where they're bringing them sweets and, oh yeah, it's okay, you're misunderstood, let's rehabilitate you. No, you should be living in hell. You should want to die every day because of the shit that you did. The Southport murderer, didn't he kill or stab 3 or 4 kids? Disgusting.
This is a video games controller, and these are some snacks. And you know who else has these? Some of our worst criminals. Axel Rudakabana murdered 3 girls, and then in jail stabbed a prison officer. And yet, due to stupid rules, officers are forced to bring him twirls, Haribo, packets of crisps, and Diet Coke. Murderers are sat in prison playing on Xboxes. How? Well, it's called the Prison Incentives Framework. You behave well, you get perks. That's fine, but it shouldn't apply to murderers, rapists, and violent criminals.
Yes.
But there's a massive loophole. If you attack a prison officer, you're meant to be deprived of all your perks. But if you claim you're at risk of self-harm, you can, and often do, get them right back. Murderers and violent criminals shouldn't be enjoying sweets, Xboxes, or frankly, any perks. The Justice Secretary, David Lammy, can and must change these rules today.
100%. You know, these murderers, sexual predators, abusers, preying on kids, preying on whatever, they shouldn't be rewarded for their lifestyle in prison. They already made their choice on the outside world. They should be living and rotting in hell, guys. That's what they should be doing. You know, in a jail cell. Their jail cell should be like hell. Truly. You know, they're just bullshitting here completely, guys. Unbelievable. Prison should be a deterrent, not somewhere that you're like, oh, well, it's like living back when you're, when you're a teenager. When I was a teenager playing PlayStation all day, eating Haribo and flipping drinking Diet Coke, that's what you do as a teenager. It's like fun. And now these killers are allowed to have fun. Last news story we have here today is from Dublin. It says, foreigner makes up stories about being racially abused. Mr. Drudzenek accepted that CCTV did not back up his story. He accepted that he was not racially abused on the bus and that he was not followed by a group of men aged 30 to 35. The story was national news in Ireland and it was completely fake. So people were saying yesterday my video about the Hilton Hotel burning was fake. It wasn't. That was actually true, guys. Okay, everyone's bullshitting me. But the mainstream media makes up fake news stories all the time. And nobody says anything about that. Well, I'm pushing back, guys. The mainstream media is full of shit. It says here, the assault victim denies making up a story about being racially abused. So this guy here that got chased, I think his friend got hit over the head with a bar. Actually, his friend died. 3 other people pushed and threatened him, apparently. The case remains the same, guys. He lied to the jury, right? He said that he was... So his friend Joseph died, but he also lied. He said that, okay, I was racially abused. That's why all this bullshit happened, right? And he wasn't. He wasn't racially abused. It came out then in court, supposedly. How ridiculous is that? You know, this whole racist accusations is all bollocks now. You know, I don't really know anyone that's racist. Very, very, very few people are actually racist towards other people, guys, right? It's a clown show when you're now accusing, oh, this guy's racist, this guy's racist. It's stupid. It's like a dog whistle. It's something that these woke lefties do, you know, to gain sort of sympathy. But nobody's really racist. You know, people that just want you to behave correctly. They want you to actually put work in, work a hard job, put your labor in, graft hard. Don't be bullshitting, attacking people. So, yeah, another bullshit made up racist story. Oh, cry wolf once again. Nobody believes you. Idiot. I love you guys all. If you want to support me so I can support you, push back against the mainstream media and the Irish government, hit the join link underneath the video for just €3 per month. Can help support all my videos and all my work. And yeah, we have 32 members now, I believe, today. And I'll see you all in the next one, man. Peace.